Hello, 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 everyone. We are back. Today, we are producing our 20th segment. It feels like we started last week. Anyway, today is the 20th segment of How Can You Say That? And
every time you say it that way, I get a kick out of that. There's something humorous about the pronunciations.
well, it's just a play on words, Jonathan. Anyway, our topic today is another hot one, another timely one, cancel culture.
Oh, God.
And I think we really need to speak about this because some days I wake up and I feel like I'm on another planet. What about you, John?
Sometimes I wake up and I want to cancel you. How about that? No, what's interesting is, yes, this is our 20th podcast, and you made a comment. Wait, you made a comment that it feels like just yesterday that we started doing this. To me, it feels like it's years, like at least a decade. We haven't been doing this at least 10 years or so.
So can I ask a question?
No.
What's the gun to your head?
You made me sign a contract to do 20 episodes with you. So I keep my commitments. I keep my deals. So after today, I assume I'll be released from this indentured servitude.
Yes. After tonight, you have expired.
Yeah. Okay. No, God forbid I didn't expire. I'm saying I fulfilled the obligation of my 20 episode contract. Now, if you'd like to renew for another season and do another 20, that's fine. But I'm going to demand a hefty raise.
Actually, your replacement was already been selected as a much nicer, easier human to deal with.
Well, congratulations on the failure of your podcast 21 through whatever based on replacing me, but okay. Anyway, so wait, I'd like to say something. No, you did the opening remarks and now it's my turn. Oh, you're finished. No, you're done. So, okay, let me...
You cut me off on everything. When I go back to listen to these podcasts, half of my points are left dangling like a participle because you wouldn't allow me to complete my sentences.
Well, the consensus seems to be that people enjoy hearing me more than you, so I figure I'll give the listeners what they want.
Tonight, I'm demanding that you shut up.
Request denied.
Okay, so I wanted to explain what cancel culture is because when I discussed it with some friends, they did not know what cancel culture is. And I checked it out, and cancel culture is a phrase from the late 2010s through 2020 used to refer to a culture in which those who are deemed to have acted or spoken in an unacceptable manner are destroyed, ostracized, boycotted, or shunned and shamed. Jeez.
You know what's interesting about what you just said? Those that speak in what type of way you said?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable to who? See, that's the whole point of the cancel culture. There's one side that does the cancellations. And that side, if you don't adhere to their doctrine, they quote unquote cancel you. But you know what the funny thing about cancel culture is? It doesn't actually mean anything. If you say that
the Pope gave a definition of it, and I brought it to share with everyone.
Cut me off. I think you just cut me off.
I'm learning from you. I'm a good study. And I quote the Pope. I'm quoting the Pope, and he said that cancel culture is a form of ideological colonization, one that leaves no room for freedom of expression.
He's a smart man, that Pope.
And I agree with that.
Is it still Pope John Paul, or did we move on from that?
You don't know which Pope it is.
I do. Francis. By the way, the sound of me being muffled before was Jenny throwing both hands over my mouth, practically choking me and trying to stuff a rag in my mouth to shut me up. That's not going to work. But here's the thing about cancel culture. Just because you say that I don't exist anymore doesn't change the fact that I exist. In other words, cancel culture isn't the elimination of a physical elimination of a person. Just because you don't want to acknowledge me anymore as a person does not change my status of who I am and what I am. So it's simply a label that gets attached to a person that the other side doesn't want to listen to, which actually means absolutely nothing.
No, it does in some cases. If you're an insecure person,
which I am,
and society has decided they canceled you, because you lack self-esteem,
I'll start crying.
You will succumb to the label.
In what regard? What am I going to do? Kill myself?
You almost cease to exist. For example, Here, I wrote some examples of some cancel cultures for us.
You have like pages and pages of notes. When do you have time to do this?
I don't. Because we decided on the
who wrote, is AI wrote your notes? Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of when we decided to do this topic. So this is interesting because we actually had a different topic chosen, which I think we'll do the next time, which was divorce and its impact on children. So this morning I come into the studio to say hello to Jenny, bring her coffee like I normally do, like a good dog that I am. Breakfast and her coffee, which she demands. She demands that I bring breakfast and coffee every morning to the studio for her, like I'm her bitch or something. So I oblige because it's okay, whatever. I don't have any self-esteem. Anyway, so she says to me, she goes, "Oh, by the way, we're doing a different topic tonight. We're doing cancel culture." I said, "The hell are you talking about? I just spent a week preparing for divorce and its impact on children." And I think I figured out why you change topics all the time, because this isn't the first time you've done this.
I explained.
No, I'll explain why. It's because you want to make me look like an idiot, thinking I can't think on my toes, and the dumber I look, you think the better you look. Well, I have news for you, Miss Jennylyn Pace-Cleave. That is not going to work, because any topic you throw out there, other than classic music, maybe art history, and a handful of others, I am prepared to discuss almost anything. Yes. So your strategy is not going to work. Nice try.
Well, I told you, Jonathan, that I know this. And this is why I know that I could never put you on the spot. So I can do a switcheroo anytime, and I'm 100% sure. And I can guarantee the listeners they will not be disappointed. Anyway, I looked up the names of some people who've been canceled.
Right.
And I got Urban Outfitters, Balenciaga, Jemima. I was laughing at some of these.
I love her, Sarah.
GoDaddy, Kanye West. Well, I don't think anybody wants to.
He was recently uncanceled.
Tampax has been canceled.
Well, I've never used them anyway, so it didn't matter to me.
Amazon, because they hold their second largest headquarters from New York.
Okay, so actually,
well, let me
wait. But this illustrates my point. Now that Amazon, quote unquote, has been canceled, has that impacted their business and have they shut down? No, it means nothing. It means nothing. It's a liberal term that means nothing.
He is the one that got the because
the what?
Nothing.
The boo-boo.
Let me tell you, they moved to Virginia because they're smarter, and it was not about politics.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was.
But the opposition that Bezos got, it grew, and so he sued.
And he absolutely did the right thing.
Sued.
No, but okay, so let me explain to you actually what happened, because I live in New York. Amazon was going to open. See, you thought I wouldn't know this. Amazon was going to open in Long Island City, Queens.
Yes.
No, not Queens, Long Island. There's Long Island, and then there's Queens. And then there's a place called Long Island City, which is part of Queens, right near Manhattan. And it's a very densely populated area, which used to be in the 1970s and 80s. Long Island City was a place where you went to pick up prostitutes and buy drugs. And it was all like rundown auto body shops and a horrible place. And what happened was all of a sudden Citigroup came along and they put up a giant office tower known as the Citibank building. And all of a sudden now Long Island City from that day on started to turn over. And people realized, holy crap, it's right over the bridge from Manhattan. And it's a fraction of the price. So all of a sudden developers started buying these dilapidated structures, throwing them down, putting up condos and co-ops or whatever. I don't know the difference so much between condos and co-ops. But I think these were mostly condos, and putting up these structures, $1 million buildings, and knocking on everybody's door to buy their property and put up more buildings. And then before you know it, you turn around, and now Long Island City kind of looks like Manhattan. It's got structures all over the place, construction everywhere, bars, restaurants, very similar to what's going on in Jersey City, which I'm intimately familiar with as well. So with that being said, Long Island City was going to be the home that Amazon selected for headquarters number 2. And then you had this jackass, Ocasio-Cortez, that dumb-ass idiot from New York, that started putting all these conditions and trying to make it complicated for Amazon to do this, which would have brought thousands and thousands of jobs and millions of dollars of revenue into the city. And Amazon said, you know what? The hell with you. We don't need to deal with this shit. We'll go somewhere that welcomes us with open arms. And that's exactly what they did. And then these idiots, these leftist politicians in New York started yelling, well, we didn't want them here anyway. We didn't. And they looked like total fools because they got bitch slapped in the face by Jeff Bezos, who I applaud for making that decision. So that's actually what happened. So the attempt they weren't canceled. You had the left-wing freaks that were trying to get them to bow to their conditions to stay. And instead, Amazon said, F you, goodbye, we're out of here.
Okay, so too bad for New York.
Yes, exactly.
So Californians are not stupid. We have Amazon in California.
Is the headquarters in California?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's good.
Anyway, so here are I got us the names of some celebrities who've been canceled.
Okay, but are they dead? No.
No, who says that canceled?
Do they work still? Can they still get jobs? Yes.
Well, I think a lot of the celebrities that they've canceled are probably going, you can sit there and cancel us. We're doing better than you.
Exactly. So what does this cancellation actually mean?
But here are the four of the
okay.
There are four that I picked. Elon Musk.
Oh, he's doing horribly. Richest man in the world, yes.
Will Smith.
Ah, yes. Worth tens of millions of dollars, wonderful actor.
Nick Carter.
Well, he's dead.
And
did he kill him?
Olivia Wilde.
Was she the one from the college scandal?
Yep.
Okay, so I think actually what happens here is the cancellation of them actually is a career boost.
This is why I brought them, because I don't understand when a group of kids, because I think that the cancel culture started amongst young people.
Yes, this generation now, yeah.
This leads me to a topic. Where do these terms come from? Who gives birth to these trends and cultures, phrases? Someone starts it and then it goes viral.
Well, that's because of the internet and because of social media, sure.
But you see,
then it works it into our lexicon and then becomes part of the dictionary, and then it becomes a term that's just part of culture now.
Someone comes up with a line, a catchy phrase, and then everybody is like, "Oh, this person's saying it, that person is saying it." Next thing we know, everyone is saying it, everyone is doing it. And I think it lends to the cancel culture because it starts somewhere with the in crowd, and next thing you know, it spreads and everyone starts saying it and doing it.
Well, I don't want to be part of that in crowd because I don't look at them as the in crowd. That's a whole different crowd that I don't really want any association with. But take the term like selfie. You know, people like taking a selfie with your phone. Now that word, you know where that word originated from? You know?
Selfie?
Yeah.
Hey, it's taking a picture of yourself.
Where did the term start?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. In my house, when I was a kid, in the 1980s. Now, I have a brother.
Jonathan, I would have been.
I'm going to tell you why. I just wasn't smart enough to trademark it. But what used to happen is my little brother, Brian, used to always want to do things by himself. And he would always say, I want to do it selfie. I want to do it selfie. Selfie meant by myself. And I wasn't smart enough to grab that term right then and there, trademark it, and then collect a royalty on everyone that uses the term. I'm an idiot. Not the first thing I've blown. And there'll be more. But I just want to point the origination of that term was in Long Island, New York, in my childhood home.
Okay, Jonathan, kudos to you. You started a selfie. People, please make sure that he gets what's owed to him for his
I'd like to be footnoted every time.
Please continue what I was saying before you interrupted me. You were telling me about your selfie story. Anyway, what makes me sad is when people come up with these types of things like the cancel culture. The reason it becomes so established and so large and powerful is because most people want to fit in. And for example, in high school, if you come to work wearing something outrageous and you're the cool kid, next day,
other people are trying to emulate you.
And next thing you know, a trend is starting.
Right.
And the thing that's sad about this is half of the people doing it never stop to inquire why they're doing it.
Oh, you mean like the way I wear my jeans, like the black people, where it hangs down all the way on the bottom and the belt's around my knees? Yeah, I started doing that too. I thought it was, should I not be doing that?
I think that's a very prejudiced.
No, it's a ghetto thing. That's what happens in the black communities.
People are the only one I've seen many white dudes.
Yeah, it's like the weird white people that try to be black people. They do it also. It's just bizarre. I tried it once. I couldn't take more than 2 steps before my pants were down by my ankles. I don't understand how the pants stay that way.
Can I continue?
No, I just want to know, do they use like double-sided tape on their legs to hold the pants down? How can you run? Like, let's say you're going to commit a crime.
Why are you asking me?
Because you have black jeans. So I thought you would know.
Okay, so I have black jeans, so that makes me
more knowledgeable on the topic than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I would think. That's my assumption.
Well, this is what I call ignorance magnified.
Well, let's have it commit a crime. Wouldn't I want my pants to be tight around my waist with a belt so that I don't trip into myself?
You're making a good point here. You keep interrupting me. You're so annoying. Jeez.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to go in the corner now.
Sad about situations like this where something like the cancel culture, something like politically correct, all these types of phrases and different little groups and cultures that have been created over the centuries that don't necessarily serve us, but the in crowd, the popular people started, and a lot of the people who follow them are unaware of the significance of this. And I know because I've gone in the streets with my TV camera and stopped random people and questioned them about things that were trending and everyone was participating in. And sadly, at least 60% of them did not understand why they were doing it. They just said, oh, it's the fashion now.
Right.
That was usually the response I got.
Right.
And so the thing about the cancel culture in today's world is if you cancel a celebrity, like you said, Elon Musk, Will Smith, they don't give a rat's you know what,
of course not.
Because they're still prospering.
Sure.
But they've canceled some insecure people. And like I said earlier, if you cancel someone who is already struggling with their self-esteem, and then you cancel them, these people retreat, and some of them end up committing.
Well, you know what that's called? That's actually called bullying. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I want to say something about what the actual definition. You mean you read a technical definition of by the way, what's the Pope's last name? Does Pope have a last name?
I just know him as Pope Francis.
Oh, that's his Pope name. There's a real. Oh yeah, he has a real name also with the last name. Yeah. So the real purpose of cancel culture, the real definition, is the ideology of trying to get people to conform to your desires. That's really what it is. Because what you're doing is you're saying, if you don't behave this particular way, then this is the action we're going to take against you. And it actually is a form of bullying, because you're actually forcing someone against their will, most likely against their will, to conform with whatever ideology you insist that they should have, which takes away people's freedom of expression, people's freedom of speech. It goes completely counter to a democratic society.
Exactly.
Now, this is, again, we live, and
that's exactly my next point. Does this
I know, I read it off your paper.
That it leads to the question, is free speech under attack?
It is.
Is it dangerously close to becoming extinct?
It is.
It is already.
We barely live in a democracy anymore. That's the problem, because people are afraid to say what's on their mind about certain hot button issues. And they mostly have to do with racial and gender type of topics, because that's where a lot of these things come from. And I have now lost, I mean, I haven't, because I still express my views and I don't really care about the fallout. Maybe that's not smart of me. But I believe if I live in a free country, I should be able to express the views that I want to express the way I want to express them. As long as I'm not physically hurting someone, I believe that that's what free speech is all about in the United States of America. And unfortunately, the dynamic in this country has shifted, where people do not feel that they have the freedom to say and do what they want, because they will have to suffer the ramifications. One of the example is Kanye West. Let's use Kanye West as an example, okay? Yes, he was quote unquote canceled. And the result of that cancellation was he lost billions of dollars in contracts from multinational corporations. And unfortunately, the multinational corporations most of the time fall in line.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
With the cancel culture.
Can I ask you a question?
And so does the media.
It's pertinent to what you're saying. Don't you think, though, that some people who have been canceled, they kind of brought it on themselves because they're like over the top, controversial?
But they should be allowed to look. Kanye West, when he made anti-Semitic remarks. Okay, he's allowed to not like Jews. I'm a Jew. If he doesn't want to like me because I'm Jewish, what do I care? That's his opinion. If he wants to go to a Nazi rally and hold a Nazi flag, Okay, do what you want to do. You are entitled to do that in this country. I may throw rocks at you if you do that, but I'm entitled to do that too. Well, maybe I'm not entitled to throw a rock. I'm entitled to counter protest and hold up a flag that is Yeezy clothes or whatever the brand name is ridiculous looking. I think those clothes, anyone that wears those clothing is a moron. They look absurd. It's not even fashion. It's like some 2-year-old threw together some pieces of fabric and created something that also, oh, look at Kanye. He's a genius. He's a fashion genius. He's an icon. No, he's an idiot. I mean, he's a business mogul and he's knows how to work the system to become rich. And that I give him a lot of credit for that. But in terms of his personal views on Jewish people, he's going DEFCON 3 or whatever it was on Jews. Okay, I laughed about it. Do what you want. I can go DEFCON whatever on Kim Kardashian, his ex-wife, because she's Greek or whatever she is. That's the beautiful thing about living in America. No, you are allowed to say and do these things. Why?
Because
I'm not disagreeing with you, but why?
Well, thank you for being honest. We're gonna have a storm tonight. Because Jonathan, you are going on and on about you're okay with Kanye and
I am.
But you if you could, you said you'd push Biden down a flight of stairs.
Well, I said that to you in private. What do you want, the Secret Service to come after me now? What the hell are you doing? You better edit that out. The Secret Service is going to show up at the office. Are you insane? I never said that. I said I would help him up the stairs if he got stuck. How did you turn that into throw him down the stairs?
You are such a hypocrite.
I said he looked like he was struggling. I would take his arm and help him up the stairs. I don't know what you heard.
That's not what you said. But for example, okay, they canceled Will Smith. Would you say, look, I am not for or against. I think everybody should be who they are as long as they're not hurting other people.
No, but he did. He slapped someone in the face.
He hit someone.
He should have been arrested.
So, you know what? He deserved to be canceled. That's what I'm saying.
No. He didn't deserve. He deserved to be arrested and prosecuted because that's assault. But they didn't do that. And they didn't do that because he's a celebrity. And he's a celebrity of color. So it was a double whammy about why they didn't do it. If I did that as a privileged, let's say privileged white folk, if I slapped someone like that, of course the police would come and arrest me immediately. It wouldn't even be a question. It's a double standard.
So it leads me to this point. I think the cancel culture has taken on the life it has for as long as it has, because we are living in a binary world where where there's right and wrong and yes and no and good and bad, and the people on the right feel like they're being silenced by a woke mob.
They are.
While people on the left are saying we are holding people accountable.
Accountable for what? Their ideology, which is undemocratic?
Okay. Accountable for what? For example, Will Smith slapping a person in front of the whole white house.
Okay, but we established that was actually a criminal act, in my opinion.
You asked the question, I answered the question. If you don't like the answer, that's your problem.
You're so feisty. Keep going, yeah. Go ahead. Let me not stop you.
I think there are some people in our world, and especially in our country and society, that need to be held accountable for things that they do that are heinous, that are outright, listen, I believe everyone should be who they are, just don't hurt other people. And we have rules that have been set up so that we don't live in a lawless.
It's called society. Yes, it's called society.
And so we should try to live within the, adhere to these.
If Will Smith
create a semblance of order.
Correct.
And control the chaos.
Correct.
But
without laws in society, there is chaos.
But then sometimes, here's the problem I feel personally, this is my opinion, the world is either it's like slanted right or left. Why can't we find a place in the middle? While we still hold our philosophy, we still hold all of the values that we...
You don't have to find a place in the middle, you just have to agree to disagree, as opposed to being violent and obnoxious.
Same thing. That's what I mean when I say...
No, but I thought you meant like people have to change their views to compromise more and sacrifice what they believe in. You mean just to behave and have civil conversations as opposed to an Antifa mob coming and burning down your house or burning down your business. Correct. I agree with you.
I think that if we could just, and I tell you this all the time, and I've mentioned it on other podcasts, I may not share the same, like you, and you're Jewish. You're very Jewish. And I am not religious, but we have a really great friendship. I respect all of your holidays and all of what you have.
I'm sorry, do you refer to this as a friendship? Is that what you're terming this?
Well, it's a phony one, but
Well, at least that's more of an accurate statement. Yeah.
I'm not a hypocrite.
No, you use me for my talent. I understand that. You're not the only person to use me for my different talents. I understand that. I accept that. It's okay.
What talents you have that I need?
I'm a podcast extraordinaire. What do you mean?
Jonathan?
I identify as a podcaster extraordinaire. Please respect my pronoun.
Well, here's what I have to say for you. You're consistently delusional. That's refreshing.
Sounds like I've just been canceled. By the way, you see how I always bring a bottle of water to the studio with me? Do you notice an identifiable mark on this bottle all the time, consistently? And I just realized why I'm so stupid.
Why does it have a J?
Okay, because I'm a germaphobe. So I want this to be labeled with my initial on it so I know I can never mix this up with anybody else. That's what I just realized how stupid I am. Because the J would apply to you also. But I don't want to mix this bottle of water up with anybody else because I don't like drinking it from other people's mouths. I'm a germaphobe in that regard.
No, you're a germaphobe in every regard.
It's the
He's
J.
Germaphobe. When he goes in an elevator, he controls the buttons with his elbows.
That's because it's filthy. And like when you go into a bathroom, I'm not touching that handle. I'll sit in the bathroom for an hour waiting for someone else to open the door if I have to.
I have a question for you.
Oh, God. What?
What would a perfect world look like to you?
Oh, you think that's a complicated answer?
Jesus Lord, can't you just...
I will tell you, yes. The world would be... I will tell you right now, the world would be filled with people exactly like me. That's my definition of the perfect world.
Jonathan, don't make me throw up. On the computer, we'll lose all the footage we just recorded.
As good looking as I am, as intelligent as I am, as graceful as I am, as charitable as I am, like in this friendship, maintaining you as a friend, as generous as I am, like buying you this lovely housewarming gift that I delivered to you the other day at the studio. And even, I mean, you know what? So yes, the world filled with other people exactly. If I could replicate myself on a photocopy machine and create like 8 billion of me, I would replace everybody in the world with an exact replica of me. That's my answer. Well, I'm sorry. There would be female versions also, because we'd have to procreate. So everybody would be like me, but half in female form and half in male form.
You don't?
You asked me a question. I gave you an answer.
You know what you just defined? You know the definition I just heard from you? You know the description you just gave me?
Insanity?
It's my biggest fear. AI gone mad. Serious. And it's attacking mankind, which is the prediction.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
I was researching the benefits of this cancel culture. And here are some of what I have written.
I still want to get to the bottom of how you have time to do research.
I didn't.
You're a busy woman.
I know. So don't blame me for being multi-talented, but you can eat your heart out. It's okay.
Go ahead.
So here,
you want the stage. You got the stage. Go ahead.
Stage.
You demand the stage.
Topic, and sometimes when I'm on a roll with a point, you come and then you interject, and after the show is up on YouTube and I listen to it, I'm like, wait, he didn't even let me finish what I was saying.
I wasn't even allowed. I was told of this topic 6 hours ago also. I mean, so...
We both, this morning is when I woke up and someone said something to me and I
But
said...
I'm not with you when you wake up. I first saw you 5 hours later, and that's when you told me.
But
how about sending me a text in the morning, say, oh, by the way, topic changes. So maybe I have like 4 more hours while I'm in the shower or something.
What time you wake up?
No, it's because you want to mess with me and have me look like a fool.
People listening to this podcast, here is a declaration. Everything that Jonathan accuses me of is a reflection of who he is. I am so tired of his projections. This is why I'm going to replace him.
The only declaration that was is a declaration of insanity.
Anyway, the benefits are it allows less powerful people to have a voice.
What does?
Cancel culture.
Oh, because the weaker people cancel the more powerful people, and then they get the stage. Yes, good point. Go on.
I hate when I hear powerful people. I don't know why it even exists in the world.
Well, like you're a powerful media personality.
Powerful.
No, they're not.
To be powerful.
But you are a powerful media personality.
Jon Jen, would you stop with a comic?
No, it's the truth. Tell them about the TV station that wants us to be on. All right, we'll get to that later. Okay, go ahead.
And then it helps the marginalized people.
Mm-hmm. True.
And it holds people accountable when our justice fails. But that is what I question.
Well, yeah, it's great to question.
How does it hold? So you cancel them, which is basically you shame them, and you stop supporting them. For example, if they're if they have a show or something, or if they're on YouTube, you stop liking their videos, whatever.
But other people start watching it because of their views. So I don't know, so maybe in the end it may balance out.
That's what I was getting to. So some people, and this is what's so interesting about living in the world that we live in. Some people, what you think is bad and a person should be condemned for, other people think it's great.
Exactly.
That person is so awesome. Do it again.
So it's actually a shift of demographics, meaning all these people that believe one way like this guy or girl, and then once he says something that alienates them, the other people that didn't realize they like him, all of a sudden they want to support him. So it's really just a shift of demographics of who your supporters are. So net, it means you're neutral, back in the same spot.
And this is
not really, because there's more leftist and more liberal than conservative people in the country, just by numbers. So actually, that demographic would shift in favor of the cancel culture people in a way.
So if we did not live in a binary world, what would that look like?
First, I have to know what binary means.
It means a world of black and white, right and wrong.
Oh, like diametrically opposed.
Yes.
So what was the question? What would it look like if
What would it look like if
it would look like a harmonious society? What do you mean? No one would be fighting.
No, to do it ourselves.
No one would be fighting.
I mean, we grew up with always from very little knowing that somebody is bad. Or yesterday I posted a picture on a WhatsApp group that you're a part of. And it was a black child and a white child.
That was actually really good.
I just really loved it.
It was really good. I have to say it was.
It was a picture of two children. One was very black skin, and the other one was very pale skin.
But they didn't notice it because they're children.
They were
innocent
each other, and they had their hair cut exactly the same, so their teacher would not be able to tell them apart.
Well, they thought the teacher would, because of the innocence of children.
It's really tugged at my heart when I saw
So at what age does that disappear?
When we start having people telling us that person is bad or don't do this, it's bad.
Well, so with parents, actually, a lot of it starts with parents and what the kids hear in the house.
Sure.
Right.
Because this is a really good story. When
I trained my children from the beginning, by the way, not to like Guyanese people.
Okay. Maybe that's why, anyway.
Why?
I like your kids. I'm going to reserve the comment for another time.
Oh, okay, fine.
But here is something that I think proves that point. When my children were little, my younger daughter she used to be very fearful. It was easy to scare her. And one day she came home from school and she said, Mommy, we can't.
She got it from her mother.
We can't sleep tonight because the aliens are coming. And I was going through a divorce from their father, and I'm a single mom. I have a day job. I was running an acute care clinic. So it's like once you get to work, it's go, 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 go. And this child would not let me sleep. She was so afraid that I brought her in my bed with me, and she had to be touching me. Her body was right up against mine. I couldn't turn.
Right.
And as soon as I start falling asleep, she'd wake up and poke me.
Yeah.
And this went on throughout the night.
That's torture.
I was livid. I wrote a letter and I went to the school. And I go, can you please send this out to the entire school? This is what happened last night in my house.
It's an easier answer. You have plastic bags in the house? What?
Anyway.
No, do you know where I'm going with that?
Yes, I know exactly where you're saying.
Where is I going? Explain it.
No, I'm not going to even.
Because you don't even know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so what were you talking about?
Nothing. Go ahead.
You're so obvious, so see-through that I don't even.
I'm not suggesting putting plastic bags on people's head. I'm just saying.
I know that's exactly what you were thinking. But the thing is, some people allow their children to know everything, watch everything. And you were asking when does it change? They come to school and they share what they learn with impressionable children, and they believe it.
Right.
And there's something about the school system. When you send your children there, suddenly you're not so smart. Those kids in school are smarter than you, mommy.
Right. All of a sudden, the parents look stupid. Right.
Mom, my friend said this.
My friend who's 7 years old told me he asked me, right? You're only 40. Yeah, I know.
So I think it's a multitude of influences that is creating this problem. And I think that you and I and many like us, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face. It's not going to change anytime soon because it's these people's prerogative to run their homes the way they choose to and tell their children what they want to. Jonathan, you're quiet. I'm going to do this next podcast.
No, I'm listening to you. You said you don't like when I cut you off, so.
That's because, well, in this way I can make my points without interruptions from you.
You know why I would continue to see Will Smith movies regardless of the slap in the face?
Tell me why.
Is only one reason why.
Why?
Because I love movie theater popcorn.
There are other people in the movie theater besides Will Smith.
What? Really? What do you mean?
I've never been fond of him, to tell you the truth.
Well, he's not I don't think he's a particularly great actor, but he's been in some decent movies and stuff. And I go for the popcorn. It's not to me about the movie. The problem is I finish the popcorn. I get, of course, because I'm Jewish, I have to get the large size because it's only like $1 more, it's double the size. And then, of course, I can't wait till the movie starts to start eating it. One of my daughters, complete discipline. She'll sit and hold that popcorn and won't touch it until the movie starts. I can't do that. So within 15 minutes of the movie going, most of my popcorn's already gone because I'll just eat like handfuls of it at a time. And then the problem is then I'm bored because the movie sucks and I want to get out of there because the popcorn's gone.
Well,
but that's my reasoning for not canceling Will Smith.
Since I've come to New York, I've never gone to a movie theater.
Why?
I don't even know where they are.
Okay, there's a really good one in Lynbrook, Long Island. It's a new one. I think it's Regal, and it's got the reclining seats and stuff like that. Like these beautiful like couch seats that recline. They're spacious. They got the things for the food, the holders, and everything.
They're warm. Yeah, we have those in California, and that's unless I find one like that, I'm not going.
I just told you.
Why?
Do you want to go to the movies?
Why? You know someone who could take me?
Yeah.
Who?
Whoever. I don't know. I was waiting for you to say, "Sure, I'll go with you," and then I was going to say, "Well, I'm not going with you."
Why would I want to go to a movie with you?
I'll go if you buy the tickets. Movies got expensive. Movies are expensive now.
Do you really think I want more of you than this?
I know you do.
I have a hard enough time getting through 45 minutes. Don't torture me outside of here. Jeez.
Anyway, movie theater popcorn, there's something delicious about that. It can never be replicated at home, ever.
So anyway, what's going to happen with this cancel culture? It's been running for a while.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen.
2010.
Yeah.
This is 2023.
Right.
And it's still dominating.
It's going to run its course and it'll be done. It'll go away. Yeah, it will, because you know what? This is what happens. You know, one part of the population gets sick and tired of being bullied. And then they, instead of sitting back and taking it, oh, now I know your passcode from your phone. I just saw you put your code in. You're going to have to change that now. Now I have full access to your device anytime you walk out of the studio.
You couldn't tell.
Of course I can. Every time you do it, I pick up one more number and I memory.
Point. We're running out of time.
The hell was I talking about? I got so distracted. What was I talking about? Do you remember what I was talking about?
You were talking about
the price of the movies.
Yes.
But I was done with that, and then I was on to something else.
We are supposed to be discussing cancel.
Cancel culture, right? Oh, right. I was going to say it'll run its course because what happens is like it's like a rubber band. You pull the rubber band and it's elastic and it expands, it expands, it expands. And at some point the rubber band snaps. So what happens is you have all these other people on the other side of the issue that don't cancel people because they're normal. And then you have the lunatics who are always doing the cancellation, cancel. And eventually the other side says, you know what? I had enough of this shit already. I'm not doing this anymore. And then they all of a sudden rise up and begin their own thing to start to move against the other side. And what ends up happening is it balances out and then the whole thing just goes away because people are bullies. Why? Because people don't fight back. Once the person being bullied takes out a knife and stabs the bully, the whole thing's over. The bully's not going to be a bully anymore.
Well,
go ahead.
What I find frustrating about it is that you have to live your life walking on an eggshell. For example, Tampax was canceled because...
Well, how do women control their period then?
They made some comment about the tampon. They said, their marketing says, you're in the DM. We are in them. So
what's a DM?
I am not sure. The DM. And then it says that they're sexualizing women.
The tampons are sexualizing women? Well, I have news for you. It goes into a female private part. I mean, what do people think a tampon goes?
But the thing is, it's like, it's borderline ridiculous, some of what's being canceled and why. And the reason I say
but it's like we're politically correct.
Because you can't even speak anymore without having a panic attack. Like you almost want to run your sentences by a lawyer to make sure.
An editor.
Yeah, to make sure that you're not saying something that will offend someone.
But Jenny, it's tied in with political correctness.
That was going to be my other point. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. If it was going to be your point.
I feel like it's Black Lives Matter. It's cancel culture. It's politically correct. I mean, what next? Seriously. I mean, every day I wake up, I'm like, oh, what's cancel culture? What's Black Lives Matter? Well,
Black lives do matter, but all lives matter. Any human being's life matters. Even an animal's life matters. I mean, by the way, speaking of that, I saw this really disturbing article on Yahoo today. This guy, go explain this to me. This guy who had an obsession with killing cats. But what he would do is he would kill the cat and then replace it with an exact replica of the cat. So, for example, let's say you had a mid-sized black cat. He would murder the cat, and then he would buy another black cat that looks like it and replace it from the one that he killed, thereby creating the net effect of nothing changing. What's the mindset of an insane person like that?
Where did you see that?
On Yahoo. I sent it to my family chat today. You want to read the article?
No,
it just made no sense. The exact title, listen to the title of this article. Tell me this is so ridiculous. Okay, hold on. Where's my family chat? Are you you're not in my family chat, right? No, hold on. Where is that? Come on, where's the family chat? Hold on. Here it is. Here's the article. Chicago man accused of brutally killing cats and replacing them with lookalikes. Can you explain the rationale behind that?
Well, there are a lot of mentally disturbed people in the world, and I think I can't say that I blame some of them because we're living in a world where you can't be you. You cannot be uniquely you. You have a judgment, the cancel culture. It's
judgy, yes.
So much.
It's judgment, it's political correctness, it's bullying, it's all of those negative connotations. Exactly correct.
So we are running out of time, and before we run out, world, this is what I want to say. Go ahead and cancel me because I am not conforming to a box or a circle or any stereotype. I am uniquely Jennylyn, and that's the only person I know how to be. I wake up every day and try to be the change I want to see in the world. I don't hurt people. I'm sure from time to time
you hurt my feelings a few times. You did
consciously, but I don't deliberately do things that will hurt people. And so I think that we need to let people be. And if they're not hurting us, what kind of world is this? That we have a yardstick called cancel culture that is trying to dictate everything that we do.
I hereby declare cancel culture canceled.
Second that.
Done.
On that note.
Wait, before you say that note, I would say one more thing. There are listeners, by the way, that do not like to hear us agree. They like when we fight. These are sick people that like us at each other's throats, as if they got, like the last podcast, there was this person got really annoyed that we were actually on the same side of an issue. They didn't understand the dynamic of us not fighting anymore.
But we didn't fight tonight either.
Well, we did a little.
We're
No,
gonna
we did a little bit.
Oh
my God, shit.
Time do we have?
Well, we're done.
Fight. Jonathan, and you're a jerk.
I don't disagree with you on that. Unfortunately, that's not something to fight about. Give me something else. What else do you got?
You say you're so great. How come you can't cancel culture?
We just declared it canceled. It's done. Why we don't have just the right to cancel something like anybody else does? Of course we do. Cancel culture's over. We just ended the whole thing.
Can you go turn CNN on now, MSNBC and Fox? And
they'll find out. They listen to our podcast. Don't worry. I mean, nobody else listens to CNN or MSNBC. They're down to like 6 people in an audience now, but they listen to our podcast. They've commented on things that we've said. So, whatever.
Well, we are out of time, and we are hoping you've enjoyed this like the other segments. And I'm going to ask Jonathan to tell you what we are going to be doing starting next week.
Okay. Well,
since I've been talking all night. We did already actually mention it the last time with how we're going to go to, we actually promised we would do it this time, but we wanted to complete our 20th segment with audio. But what we're going to attempt to do is do audio and video for the next podcast, because it's going to be aired on some local TV stations out in California. I just have to secure a hair and makeup person for me so that I can be, as pretty as I need to be on camera. Because I did notice when we tested the camera before, how they talk about the camera adds 10 pounds. Apparently it took all those 10 pounds and just put it right around my midsection, and I looked like Humpty Dumpty. So we're going to work on that a little bit, and then I think hopefully next week we'll be prepared to go audio and video. And if you know where he could get a good toupee, will you write to us?
I also need to be a few inches taller because I'm a midget, right?
On that note, we thank you once again. We really appreciate all of your support, and we are looking forward to the big changes that are coming, and hopefully you will be entertained.
And hit the damn subscribe button also so that you get our podcasts, on www.conversationswithjennylyn.com. Hit the subscribe button so that when we put out a new podcast, we don't have to spoon feed you like a baby and send it to you. You could just get it yourself, email it to you like a big boy or a big girl or a grown up. And you could hopefully enjoy what we do. We enjoy doing it. We enjoy entertaining, and we will gladly be back again.
You were listening to HoW. Can you say that? The podcast where we are raw and authentic. But we thank you so much for listening, and we will see you soon with the next episode. Good night.
Good night.